Hello, everybody. I'm really late on this whole video. This is my 7.5 year update. I always mean to do it on the year, but I'm 6 months behind, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I do coach full time right now. So if you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can book a session through angiepeacock.com. Trust me, I try to work myself out of a job, which is why I have all these videos. So there's lots of free content. I have some support groups that will be starting up very soon in the next couple weeks. I already have a protracted group, but we are also going to have a tapering support group. So people that are actively tapering one or more drugs. And then we'll have another group for people who are off 0 to 2 years. And then I have a protracted group for 2+ years. So that's where I'm at right now. I am late on this because a lot of life has happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm super busy helping others get through this process. It is so hard. I get it. And I think one of my, one of my gifts is that I am not completely healed. I'm like 80%, something like that, maybe 70, I don't know. It's so hard to know. But so these symptoms are very real to me still. I don't have like interakathisia, all the terror level stuff. I don't have that. I don't even have DRDP anymore, which is amazing because I had it for freaking like 5 years. Okay. So, but that's not so far distant off. Like I remember what it's like, how bad it was, you know, I have not forgotten. However, I can talk about it all day and I don't feel triggered by it. I don't remember it. I can't feel it. Like it doesn't feel like it was just happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's been healed and it's gone, and that was a really scary memory, and I never want to go back there, but I don't fear like it's going to happen to me again, things like that. So I think that's why I can relate to a lot of people. I've been through this process. It is so hard, and my withdrawal was extremely traumatic and severe, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. And however, all that to say, if you are triggered by people with symptoms very far out, don't watch the video, because I do want to be honest and transparent. That is one of the reasons it's taken me so long to make this video, because I'm like, I don't want to scare people. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say it and trigger people. I don't want them to think I'm sick, because trust me, I'm not. But I do still have symptoms at 7.5 years off, and little would I believe that unless it happened to me. But here I am. So I will share a little bit about me, and I also feel very, another reason I kept putting it off was because I fear the judgment. I fear the comments that are going to come against me. I fear people will say things like, you're not doing it right, or you must be taking something, or you're doing something to prevent your healing, or, you know, who knows? There's lots of things that people say when they're not in your shoes, right? Because we say those things because that scares us, or we have to look for like a reason why the person's so bad off to make ourselves feel better, because we're all in a fear state, right? So I know that. I've been there. I did the same thing when I was 6 months off. Oh, those protracted people, they must be drinking alcohol, or they're doing something wrong, or they're not, you know, it's a habit. They have a bad habit and that's why they have their symptoms. No, I'm living it, okay? So until you have taken 40 psychiatric drugs and other drugs like migraine drugs, pain drugs, I've been on all of them, until you have suffered that level of neurotoxicity for 13 years, and then you came off cold turkey because your doctor's an idiot, you really can't speak on someone else's experience. Like, this is my body and my experience. So I don't know. I think I'm being kind of harsh here, and I want to be harsh because that's me protecting myself against your judgment. So it is what it is. I'm living this experience. I know what's happening. I know what I've done and what I haven't done. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So my main symptoms are, it seems to be like a hypersensitivity to stress, to emotional upset, to trauma, things like that. And just this morning I was thinking, like, how do I talk about that in a way that other people will understand that it's like, that like makes sense, like from a physiological level. Okay, so let me put it like this. There's nobody on this planet who has done as much exposure therapy as I have done, okay? I have lived in a van for almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in December, so 3.5 years. I have been all over this country. I have driven when I could not drive. I have walked in a store when I was so dizzy I couldn't hardly get out of the van bed. Now, what you see on social media is what I want you to see, right? It's not all the bad days of me laying in bed. No, it's my adventures and my fun stuff and my relationships with people and all the cool places I visited. You don't see living, laying in bed because I don't feel good that day or whatever. This, I'm talking about a couple years ago. I'm not talking about now. Recently, I haven't been in bed in years. But all that to say is, like, I've done the Anxious Truth podcast. I did a bunch of that stuff. I did neuroplasticity exercises. They helped me so much. They really did. But I've also done EMDR in withdrawal, later years. I've done lots of therapy. I'm kind of therapied out. I don't want any more. I've done just about everything you do. I've done keto for 18 months. I did paleo almost the rest of the time. I did veganism for a year. I mean, it made me feel worse. Keto, I had a little too much energy. I didn't really want that energy because I didn't feel good. I've done exercise when I could, which wasn't until recently. I feel stronger than I've ever been. My muscles are bigger than they've ever been. You can't see them because there's a little layer of flat. But anyway, I've done all the things. You know what I'm saying? All the things. I got all my amalgam removed from my mouth. I've focused on gut health. I eat lots of fermented food. Lots of guided meditation. Lots of yoga, breathing. I'm still exploring, like, breathing. Like, just last night I was doing meditation where I was just like, just lay here, don't do anything. Just, like, let your thoughts pass. Just focus on your breathing. Just let your body relax. I always feel calm in my body. You know what I mean? But here's where the hypersensitivity comes in. So let me give you an example. This just happened yesterday. I am under an enormous amount of stress, and it's mostly related to I work too much and I help too many people. And a lot of the people I work with are extremely suicidal. They are extremely dysregulated because of the medications they're put on and taken off and put on again and try this, try that. So it's a lot of suffering, and I'm just very empathetic, okay? I think that's why people like me, because they know I'm listening and I'm validating and I'm, like, being with you in your suffering. It's a blessing and a curse, So with that, I feel people's energy. I feel their stress. I take on stress. When one of my clients is suicidal, I really worry about them. I can't help it. It's the nature of this work. It's the nature of who I am. It's what I do well and what hurts me the most. You know what I mean? It's like, it just comes with the territory. So because last week was a very hard week. I had lots of suicidal people. I learned of another person's suicide. And so all those things I feel deeply, and I can almost feel it, like, come through my nervous system, like sharp. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I don't want to do this work or anything. Actually, I can't see myself doing anything else, and I want to do this. This is my passion. I have to do extra things to keep myself healthy while I do it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that looks like I have to eat well. I have to sleep a lot, which I do sleep really well, like 8 to 10 hours a night. Okay. And lately I haven't even been waking up. I'm out. In a way, I have to live in the van because there's something about, I'm in a house right now for my birthday, but there's something about being in a house with all these walls and less sunlight. I don't do well. I need the sunlight in my eyes all day. I need to be outside all day. I must hike. I must focus on a little bit of my spirituality aspect, which I find in nature. I don't go to church, but I'm very, like, spiritual on the inside. I must be around, like, really good friends that listen to me, that they don't treat me bad. Like, I just have to have my life a certain way, okay? So when any of that is out of balance, when I don't sleep well, or when I'm not drinking enough water, when I eat like crap for 4 days in a row, when I'm working too much, when I'm saying yes, yes, yes all the time, I can feel it in my nervous system. So, for example, this is what happened yesterday. Yesterday I went to the post office and I stood in line for like 20 minutes. And as soon as I got in line, I'm like, oh, here we go again, because I'm just used to it. You know, like, in a way, I do think I've wired in some things, not good, but from the trauma of the situation. However, in my head, I'm calm and I need to go get my mail. And my birthday present was in that mail and I really needed it. And I think it was, a friend sent me a package and I don't even know what's in there, but it was my birthday present. So every part of me wants the present. I want to stand in line. I got to get to the I'm leaving this town on Monday. I need it right now. Okay. But I go in the post office, and when the lights are weird, which they usually are, any fluorescent light. I was diagnosed with like 6 different visual disabilities, okay? And they're not coming from my eyes, they're coming from my brain. And to me, it's a symptom of my own neurotoxicity that, like, I see snow, I see bubbly, you know, and when there's fluorescent light like that, it makes it so obvious, like I can't, you know, train my brain away from it. However, over the years, I have trained my brain away from it to focus on other things, and I work with that in a neuroplasticity sort of way, where I shift my focus away from it. But when I'm like weak like that, when my resilience is low to cope with some of these, you know, symptoms that I still have lingering, it makes it harder. So the light is affecting me, the movement, the standing in line. I had interakathisia pretty like severely for 3 years. Then I started rocking back and forth, especially in a car, especially at a stoplight, especially, I couldn't get a haircut till I was like 5 years off. I couldn't sit in the chair, especially at the dentist. Like, I would move my feet the whole time and they'd tell me to stop moving my feet. Like, anytime I feel like trapped, I'm fidgeting, I'm moving, whatever. So I'm at the post office, I'm like, shit, here we go again. I can feel it. I'm calming myself down. I'm like, Angie, you're fine. This has happened before. Don't, you know, I never leave the situation. I always let it be. I let it come through me. Whatever symptom wants to be there, it's fine. Don't resist it. It's cool. Just let it go. And then I go tell the guy I need my mail. He's like, oh, it's not here. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's on my, you know, look, it's on the freaking confirmation number thing. It's tracking number. He goes in the back. Then, of course, that gives me anxiety because now I'm like, whatever. I had like a bad resilience day. Very low, what's the word? Like that nervous system hypersensitivity, light, movement, sound. Everything is like moving a little too fast. I feel myself being a little too hypervigilant. I feel a little bit more panicky, a little less able to calm myself, you know. It's not anxiety though. It's like a physical sensitivity. Like, there's too much information coming in. And if you guys didn't know this, but I do interviews on my Facebook page. There's a professional page called Angie Peacock MSW. And about 4 weeks ago, I interviewed Bernie Silvernail from the Alliance for Benzodiazepine Best Practices. And he said it in a way I have never heard before. But he said it's something to do with net neural load. And when he said it and he described it, and then I actually asked Dr. Ritvo, like 3 weeks later, I interviewed her. I was like, explain that to me, you know? And it makes so much sense, especially in my situation now. Remember, I didn't just get neurotoxic drugs. I've also had 3 brain injuries, okay? Mild traumatic brain injuries. 1, I lost consciousness. 1, I saw lights. The other one was pretty mild, but, you know, it's not just it's 40 drugs plus 3 brain injuries that I'm suffering from, okay? So that's not even everybody's situation. But the way he said it was like, there's too much information coming in and your brain just cannot process it. That's exactly what my neuro-ophthalmologist said. Angie, it's not your eyes. He said your brain is not processing movement, light, and proprioception fast enough, or it's too fast, it can't slow itself down. When he said that, I was like, yeah, because the GABA was injured, you know? My GABA receptors don't work. I can't calm myself down all the time. I can't slow that light coming in my brain. I can't slow down when there's voices and movement and people talking, and that, not to mention like the temperature, the smell that you're not even conscious of, the taste in your mouth, you know, the skin on your, you know, touching your skin. All this information is coming in your brain, whether you're even conscious of it or not. There's conversations happening. All this stuff is happening. And when I'm in my van, in my controlled environment, when everything is chill, I'm fine, dude. I'm totally fine. When I hike, I'm fine. When I go into Walmart, not so much. Like, I don't like it. My brain doesn't like it, I should say. So anyway, he said this concept, net neural load. Like, our threshold is lower. And when he said that, I was like, wait, that sounds exactly like flooding from the brain injury research. That, you know, you shouldn't flood your brain with all this information. It has to, like, adapt slowly. And when you have brain injury, everything is coming in too fast and you get flooded very easily. So I have looked at that from the brain injury perspective a lot. Like, you're just getting flooded, Angie. You just can't even help it. It's not even you know? So over the years, I tried things like sunglasses or headphones or a hat. Sometimes they work, sometimes they make me feel worse. It's just something that I have to live with, you know what I mean? And I think that is, I was talking to another person in withdrawal this morning about this. Like, is it realistic for someone like me who is 7.5 years off, who was on medication for more than 13 years, who was kindled multiple times, who was taken on and off benzos multiple times, who was cold turkeyed off of antipsychotics multiple times, who was hospitalized 7 times, not to mention that trauma, who has other suicide attempts from the meds that I took. You know, there's stuff that I will never share with any of you that's private to me, you know, that I've been through, all kinds of stuff. Is it realistic for me to think I'm supposed to be 100% healed for the rest of my life? No, I don't think so. That's where I've come to for myself. You know what I'm saying? But in spite of that, I live a pretty good life. I live better life now than I have ever lived in my whole life. Like, legitimately. I have people that I value, that are in my inner circle, that I love to death, like, that are closer to me than family. I have a peace in my heart that, like, I've never had. I have, I feel like I need to drink something because I keep, like, I was talking too much. Let me cough. I get to do what I want, when I want, where I want. I feel a sense of freedom. I don't feel tied down. I feel comfortable wherever I go, except in those situations. You know what I mean? Like, anywhere I go, I'm never fearful. I live in the middle of the woods sometimes and just camp out and listen to the birds sing, or I walk in the middle of the night in the dark. Like, nothing scares me. You know what I mean? My dog is drinking water, sorry. It's probably like so loud because I have this microphone on. Anyway, I enjoy my work. I love people. I love talking to people all day. I love talking to some of you that are watching right now. Like, you've become my family. You've become my community. So I live deeper and fuller than I ever have. In fact, let me share the story with you, because I know I'm going to run late, but everybody's hanging on every word, waiting for this video for months. Here's a story. So I was doing my work, my coaching job, whatever, and I was in the van, and my door was open, and I was in a friend's driveway, and he walked by during the day, and he saw me crying. And so I was like, go, you know, and because he knew I was on the phone. So he walks away. So later that night, he's like, Angie, I don't know how you do it. I walked by your van like 3 times today, and you were crying 2 of the 3 times. And I was like, yeah, because my people, like, are suffering. And I said, listen, when you have suffered as much as I have, like, you have gone to that depth, you're able to be that for other people. But, like, that also came with deep love. Like, I feel deep love like I've never had before, you know? So I can experience deep suffering and deep love, and my life is somewhere in between. And that's how I explained it to him. So I have more patience, more love for people, more love for myself, more patience, more kindness, just easygoing. Like, I just don't let little things bother me as much. I try not to hold grudges. I do a little bit sometimes. I still have a little bit of neuro-emotion, I'm not going to lie. Like, I do want people to love and accept me, and when they don't, I'm, like, feel hurt by that. Of course I do. I'm a human being, you know? I'm not made of steel. So overall, I will say, this is the best I've ever felt in 25 years. This is the strongest I've ever been. Like, I can lift the most weight. I can do the most in a day. I mean, I can travel, like, 600 miles driving in one day, and it literally does not do anything to me. I can, like, here's a typical day, just so you know how well I am, okay? A typical day, I wake up at 6:15 with the sunrise. My brain is now set to sunrise because of daylight. I leave my windows open. I get that sunlight in my eyes. I watch the sunset, too, to regulate my sleep. It's just, like, hammered into me now. I've worked that. That thing is totally set. 6:15 to about 6:30, I wake up, get the dog, take him out, make coffee, go to the bathroom. Around 7, I do like a little quiet time. I'll read a journal. I'll just chill, listen to the birds, drink my coffee. 7:30, I start getting ready for the gym or workout. 8 to 9, I do a workout. 9 to 9:30, I start getting breakfast ready. 9:30 to 10, I get ready for coaching, and then 10 to 3, I coach. Or 10 to 4, sorry. And then when I'm done, I'll probably walk the dog again. And I could either go out to dinner or go see a friend or go to a live music, anything, a museum, whatever. I lifted weight. I drank caffeine. I saw people all day that are suffering real bad. I ate well. I slept like a charm. Like, I can do all of that in one day and it hardly affects me, But it's like when somebody's texting me, sorry. When several like bad things happen, like emotional upset or an argument or too much suicide around me, stuff like that, it does wear me down. Or if I'm not taking good care of myself, things like that. I can feel it in my nervous system. That's it. But, I don't do unnecessary things. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol since 2010, 1 glass of wine. Before that, it was 2006. So you can mark that off your list. No, Angie doesn't drink alcohol. Next, supplements I did not take until 4 years off. And the only supplements I took was a little bit of B12, a little bit of D, and a little bit of zinc because I was scared of COVID. That's when I started that whole thing. Then I never took it every day. I was always sporadic. It was like 2 or 3 times a month, and then I would stop. I've never experimented with anything like psilocybin or HBOT or TMS, nothing like that, never. I've only done things that like massage, Reiki, healing touch, acupuncture, maybe 3 times. I'm out of breath a little bit because we're at altitude. What else have I done? Nothing. I took my first dose of Tylenol at 6.5 years off because I had COVID with a fever. And I just had a fever for 3 days and I just couldn't take it anymore. And my head was pounding and I took a tiny little dose of children's Tylenol. That was it. Then I took Zyrtec, 22 days of Zyrtec, mostly half of a dose. But I took that at 6 years off, 5.5 years off because I got a breast biopsy because I had a breast cancer scare. And now I got to stitch that video together. Sorry, somebody just called me. At 5.5 years off, I took the breast biopsy, and the Carbocaine that they gave me in my breast had preservative in it, which gave me a rash on my entire body. And at that point, I was like, I got it. This is crazy. I tried like bromelain and quercetin, and it didn't really take the edge off, and I needed something because I was scratching my skin so bad that it was like thickening my skin. So I took that. Literally, I felt like a little bit of restless leg toward the end. And I was like, okay, that's enough for me. Like, let's just come off. And I came off it, literally no withdrawal. I did kind of taper it like over a week, but no withdrawal, no after effects, no increased anxiety, no nothing. I was like right back at my baseline. So I have not experimented with supplements. I have not done weird things. I haven't done any detoxes. I did like some juicing here and there, pretty mild. And I definitely feel sensitive still. I feel stronger than I've ever been. Like if I had to go through surgery, I'd probably be fine. But I definitely feel like medically traumatized. Like I don't trust doctors. I'm scared of them. No, I'm not going to get a colonoscopy and a mammogram every single year. You can shove that. And a bunch of shots. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm very protective over my body now. I try to stay as healthy as I can to prevent things like that. But that's kind of where I'm at. So I wanted to share where I was. Oh, and the biggest thing was the last year I finally dated again. It wasn't fun. It really screwed up my hormones. Let's put it that way. I guess you could say it caused a wave too. And it wasn't because it was dating. It was because of the guy. Okay? Because the guy was so dysregulated himself that it dysregulated me. And he was so hot and cold with me that I was so anxious in between that messed up my sleep, that messed up my hormones, it messed up my period. I got all scared. Like, it really messed me up. Let's put it that way. And I basically broke it off with that guy because he was really screwed up. And then everything calmed back down again. I was like, okay. But I'm looking forward to that in the next year. Dating more, getting to know myself and that femininity, sexuality side of the house. Because I felt fine around most of it. You know what I mean? It was just the guy. It wasn't the act or the emotions or anything like that. It was just the person. It was not the right person. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's exciting. This year also, I have like gone back to the gym. I'm stronger than ever. I just keep pounding it. It feels great to weight lift again and throw things on the ground that are really heavy and all that. So I'm hopeful. I know I'm still have more healing to do. I can feel it. I can feel it even in the last couple months. And I always judge it by experiences like, okay, the last time I hiked 10 miles, how did I feel? First of all, normal people don't even hike 10 miles, you know, let alone a person that suffered multiple brain injuries and neurotoxicity or whatever. So, but I can judge things like when I drive over a scary bridge, like I can do that now and not even think twice. There's some I won't touch, but most of them I'm fine. You know, walking at night, do I get scared? No. You know, if somebody makes a loud noise, do I jump? Nope. Do I sleep through the night? Yes. How's my pain level? You know, I'm always assessing things. You know, I'm always reading up on ways to heal. What things could I try? You know, I'm not obsessed like I used to be. And I think there's a lot where you just relax into what is. Like, stop looking so hard or stop trying to change what is. Like, just let it be okay, all of it. You know, so I've taken more of that stance, like less therapy on myself, less trying, just allow. And I think that's helped me a lot too. Just acceptance. Like, what are your expectations? You were on all these meds for years and years and you were not taken off the correct way. And I'm okay with that. Literally, like if I never heal more than this, I'm fine. I'm living a good life, better than I've ever lived. I cannot ask for more. Like, I'll be happy if I get more. It's like a cherry on top, but if I don't, it's cool. So that's where I'm at. That's 7.5 years. I hope I didn't scare you. I swear I'm fine. Just go look at my YouTube channel and look at my Facebook. I swear to you, I'm fine. You can see me on my pages. The RV channel is Being Human RV. It's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And then my business side is Angie Peacock, MSW. That's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I have to keep them separate because like the RV people don't understand med injury and med injury people don't understand RV life. But a lot of those people look at it for inspiration. So pick which ones or both. But anyway, that's where I'm at. If you have questions or anything you want to say, please be nice. If not, I block you. It's that simple. But I'm open to it. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.